First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to the true and living power, which is Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kwadash. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is the true name of his only begotten Son, and there is no God beside them. And I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who definitely rule well, and honors and citations to the hopeful elect, the Water Tiabachim Shai, for another lesson. This lesson I want to get into and entitled, it's the calm before the storm, so to speak, because we do have a lot of major birth pains, so to speak, once again. But it's really more so, describing the storm aspect of it, which says the calm before the storm means a period of quiet, peace, or normalcy right before a sudden disturbance, crisis, or intense activity. It implies that something significant or chaotic is about to happen, even though things seems calm at the moment. And that's what gets people. That's the thing that gets people, man, is that things seem calm at the moment. And they don't see the because it's sudden. If something happens sudden, it's harder to see it unless you have been paying attention and listening, which is easy to miss. And it's easy to miss because when you're caught up in the world and you're distracted, it doesn't register in. So now when the storm actually comes, when it comes suddenly, you didn't use that calmness before the storm to prepare and gear up for it. So once again, it implies that something significant or chaotic is about to happen. And well, let me jump back into that, but real quick, let me get Jeremiah. So this is this is our spirits, man. The Lord said in Jeremiah as well, the first chapter, of course, before he formed us in the belly, which you speak in Jeremiah about all things written aforetime for our learning. Us being the hopeful elect, the prophets and men of the Lord. Before he formed us and put us on planet Earth, the Lord knew us and he ordained us to do this mission. So it's in our spirit to constantly continue to teach and to prophesy and to warn our people, of the impending doom that's to come unto this place. Because just as Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, the scriptures say that Sodom and Gomorrah is an example to those that should afterward live ungodly. This place is extremely ungodly. So it's in our spirits, just like Jeremiah said as well. He said that he didn't want to continue to prophesy and to teach to Israel because they were so wicked. But he said his spirit was eating him up to where he couldn't help it, man. Because that's what we are ordained and placed here to do. So this is Jeremiah 28:8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries. Characteristics of a prophet. The truth, the scriptures, man, it's all to be taken serious. People take other things serious, and they'll give their due diligence. They'll give, their in-depth attention, so forth and so on, to, things that are pretty much vanity. So it's no excuse. That's why Yahweh Shai said, They have no cloak for their sins. So there's no excuse as to why the same energy isn't given to the truth. You know, I'm speaking as far as these dudes in the world. You know, whatever whatever fucking distraction they're caught up in, they give it the time, the effort, the energy, their joy. And Yahweh Shemashai expects the same type of treatment, even more, because the scriptures say he's a jealous power. You know, thinking these dudes, you know, they go to the club every Saturday, getting fresh, just love it. You know, studying it, getting, you know. But then don't want to give the same energy towards his own salvation, but that's on y'all. So my point of saying that is the truth is in here, man. It's in the scriptures. It's easy. It's plain to see. You know, but we know that 2/3 are blinded anyway. So anyway, it says the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries. You got another dude, man. You got these plantation Christianity. Not my pastor head ass, you know, but where's the due diligence to see who's a real pastor, man? Because I wish I said that as well, you know. So you shall know them by their fruits. Who's false and who's true. Line it up, man. Do some examination. That's why Apostle says that, man. It's like buying a car. Jake don't lift the hood. Sometimes, you know, I'll look under the damn car now. Nowadays, I'll get on the ground and look right under to see if there's any holes in the frame. Jake to see if it's a bump in damn stereo, man. But you can line it up. A true prophet prophesies against countries. It says, and against great kingdoms. See that? And that's why they're hated. They hate them that rebuketh in the gate. And then they want to call us a cult. No, man, these other you know, places are. When you're in your own little world, your own little bubble. But the problem is, don't grab the word of the Lord with it. That's when you're guilty. It says, and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And what of us here at Great Millstone prophesies about, teaches about, warns about? World War III. Okay. It says, and of evil, exposing the agenda of, you know, the powers that be who want to implement an end to the W to the O, a fourth industrial revolution, to where they're going to merge you into technology, man, into their technological grid, so to speak, by their mark. We're prophesying of this, meaning to say before. We're telling you these are things that are going to happen before it happens, because Yahweh Shemashai has ordained us to. All praise and glory to Yahweh Shemashai for it. That's another thing. We come to give all the praise and glory to Yahweh Shemashai. Did not Yahweh Shai constantly give praise, the recognition, and the glory to his Father, as he kept saying? But then you got dudes who come into this and then they take they like the elders say, glory hounds. They want to be glory hounds. They take it to themselves. They fall in love with the limelight. They fall in love with the limelight, man. And then they sell out. And honestly, I believe that was approach, man. I did a lesson on it a minute ago. I believe that was approach. I believe they wanted me to sell out, man, because it was a weird, real quick testimony. It was right after camp too. It was right after camp, and I'll have to go back into the lesson so I get it fresh in my memory. So it's long story short, it was right after camp, and this weird geeky Edomite man came up to me. He was almost dressed like Carlton Banks, man. Came up to me, man, while I was getting some I was buying like this wine slushy, right? And I'm in the freezer buying it. I turn around and here this guy comes up and he's talking to me about how everybody could be saved, right? And I'm like, whatever. I'm listening to him, right? Like, okay, but I'm really kind of like tuning him out because I'm deciding which slushy I want. And he's yapping about all nations could be saved. He was yapping about like grace and mercy and how all nations could be saved. And so pretty much then it leads to, he was like, do you mind if I give you some literature? And I was like, okay. I was like, sure. You know, because once again, I was tuning him out. Right? So he gives me a fucking big, huge $1 million bill book. He's like, inside of it is the book of John. Right? Hear me out, whatever. Now, I found out that they do sell those. Right? They do sell those. It's a book. It's literally just the book of John. On the outside of it it says $1 million bill. Right? It looks like $1 million bill and it's huge. And you open it up and in there is the book of John. And so I believe that right there was like, yo, like, you can get paid if you teach everybody could be saved, because that's what he started off with. He came up to me bold. He came up to me out of everybody in the store, whatever. He came up to me, right? So now, of course, they're gonna, he's gonna want to. That's what Esau does. He's gonna want to divert you, so that people could say, "Oh no, they just, dude, you do know they sell those, right?" Like, he wants to cover his tracks. Remember, Esau Edom is a cunning hunter. A cunning hunter covers his tracks. He masks his smell. So that you don't get a whiff of him. If an animal gives a whiff of you and smells you, it's gonna be spooked and it's gonna run away. So, as a hunter, you have to cover your tracks. Just in case, so that nothing comes back to you. So anyway, right? So he gives me his literature. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay. So then check this out. And I knew he was following me too, man, because he was talking about New Jersey. He was talking about New Jersey, yo. And he said that he grew up over there. He's like, oh yeah, I grew up in New Jersey and this and that. And he was talking about New Jersey. I did a lesson, man. I'll have to watch it again. So then I questioned him on New Jersey. Because he was like, I grew up in such and such. I was like, oh, that's exit. I was like, that's exit such and such, right? And then he stumbled. And he's like, oh, well, I forgot, I'm like, oh, all right. But so then he owes me literature, and then he said, so all right, so check this out. This is the most important part. Man. So then he says, do you mind? He was like, do you mind if we say a prayer together? And I pointed. I was like, that we can't. I was like, that. As I pointed to him, I was like, that we can't do. So then, he tried to give me a fist bump, and I kind of didn't even. No, then he tried to shake my hand, and then I kind of like was gonna give him a fist bump, and I didn't even want to do that, and it turned into me just giving him an elbow. It was seriously fucking weird, man. Right? And then he went off. So that right there, I believe, man. My personal belief is that he tried to approach me to sell me out, man, because if I would have said yes, we can pray together. And I felt that, man. Salaki for the long super testimony, Lord was edifying. But I felt that, man. I felt that if I would have said, yes, you could pray, we could pray together, I felt a dirty energy there. I felt the dirty fucking sellout energy there, man. I was like, yo, like, I felt my spirit like yo, you would sell out. Like, it was weird, man. Like, yo, this is an opportunity to sell out. Like, he wants me to sell out. I can feel it, man. I felt that energy, yo. I'm telling you, man. I felt that fucking energy. It felt like a dirty damn energy, man. It felt like a sellout energy, yo. I'm telling you, man. And then, so that's the point. That's their little trick. I believe. They'll try and tell you the Gentile topic. Everybody could be saved. He gives you the little $1 million bill book letting you know he'll pay you whatever if you get down with him. You know, if you accept his literature, that's step one. You accept my literature, cool. Step two, will he pray with me? If he prays with me, you know, like, then he may congregate with me and give me his number. That would have been the next step, I believe, man. I'm like, so, listen, you seem to know a lot about the Bible, because he said that, because I was like talking back to him, right? He's like, wow, you seem to know a lot about the Bible. So the next step would have been like, yo, all right, we prayed together. Got him. I got him. I got him. Like, that's what it would have been, man. And then he would have been like, I believe probably been like, oh, so why don't we exchange numbers and, we can meet up sometime, congregate together, because you seem to know a lot, about the Bible. And at that point, you already know you selling out, because what is you doing agreeing to congregate with Esau? What is you doing agreeing to pray with Esau, man? At that point, you know you selling out. You know what you're doing at that point, man. I believe that's how it goes when they approach you, All right? They talk to you about it, whatever, see if you listen. They offer you literature. They offer to pray with you, and then you exchange numbers, and then you meet up, and then you get paid, you change it up. You change up your doctrine, man. I believe that's how it goes down, man. Real talk. But yeah, man, told that nigga, that we can't do. I ain't praying with you, man. You fucking stupid. But that's pretty much it, man. I didn't want to make this lesson too long. Lord willing, this whole thing was edifying. With that, I'm going to say shalom.